Something pretty remarkable just happened. The original first print of what was originally called Star Wars, not A New Hope, the original movie that was released in theaters was screened after decades, and the discovery was called a miracle. And this is a story from Variety covering it. So Star Wars boss Kathleen Kennedy says it's remarkable the first print of George Lucas's 1977 original was found and screened after decades. Discovery is called a miracle. So first I have to say, and y'all probably know my feelings about Kathleen Kennedy, who has been systematically destroying the IP since day one, but not just that too. All of Lucasfilm's IPs were not safe. Indiana Jones, Willow, they have all been destroyed. She has never made a good decision that was in the best interest of the IP, not on purpose. I think it was a fluke Andor happened, because she just says yes to everything. Rian Johnson's trilogy is still on the table. But she has actually done something that I appreciate. To have the original theatrical print of Star Wars screened, this is a time capsule. That movie has been tinkered with endlessly since its release. It is a huge moment in the history of cinema. And Kathleen Kennedy, for all her faults when it comes to managing the mythology and the IP and the business side of things when it comes to Star Wars, I think she was sincere when she looked at Star Wars, not because she was a fan of it or any way, but because she could appreciate what it did for the field of cinema. I think maybe there's a seed of truth and genuineness there. But in regards to everything else and her motivations in running Lucasfilm, that's just PR speak and used car salesman speak. This is amazing. And personally, the original versions of the films, that is what I'm a fan of. I do not like the special editions and the endless tinkering. I don't like the Blu-ray editions, constant additions and alterations to the film that have just continued to diminish what was so special about it in the first place. And unfortunately, I was not born yet in 1977 when the original Star Wars premiered. So I am very jealous of those that got to see it on a big screen like this in its original glory. This is just a win for our culture, the history of cinema. Kudos, Kathleen Kennedy, for doing something good for Star Wars as a brand, for its fans, but also for cinema. A win for the preservation of film history. There's an article from Variety covering it. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy made a surprise appearance on opening night of the BFI Film on Film Festival in London, where the ultra-rare original first print of George Lucas's Star Wars was being screened. The BFI's shocking discovery of the print and the announcement that it would be screened publicly caused a stir among Star Wars fans earlier this year, as Lucas has always been vocal about his dislike of the print and famously went on to tinker with the movie. In the original print, Episode 4, A New Hope, is not included in the opening crawl, and the famous scene set in the Mos Eisley Cantina features Han Solo shooting the bounty hunter Greedo first. Lucas changed the scene in a future edit so that Greedo shot first, absolving Han of wrongdoing. The choice led to one of the Star Wars fandom's most legendary phrases, Han shot first. Yes, Han shot first. You can't just rewrite history, erasing his character development in the process. Lucas has always defended his right to tinker with the original cut of Star Wars, notably once telling the AP about the first print. "I'm sorry you saw half a completed film and fell in love with it, but I want it to be the way I want it to be." As a result, some Star Wars fans were uneasy about the original print's discovery. I actually don't remember any of this. I don't remember a stir online about the original print's discovery. I know some people have commented, well, they're going against George's wishes. Well, maybe yes, but also no, because George Lucas has come out. He made a speech that was for the preservation of films, for the preservation of our history. So really, it wasn't going against the spirit of his past comments. Kennedy told the crowd at the BFI Film on Film Festival that she was in attendance in order to legitimize the original print being shown, amid concern from Star Wars fans that it would not be what Lucas wanted. BFI Chief Executive Ben Roberts said it was a miracle the print was in good enough condition to screen publicly. "It's incredible folklore," Kennedy said. "Even when I came into the company, there was endless conversation about where everything was and what was in fact the first print. and it's quite remarkable. What you're going to see is in fact the first print, and I'm not even sure there's another quite like it. It's that rare. There is so much tinkering that's gone on over the years and things that George Lucas decided, I'm going to change this, I'm going to try that. And then everybody kind of lost track of what it was. Kennedy went on to say that anyone who comes into the Lucasfilm fold to create a new Star Wars project is shown Lucas's 1977 movie because it's the gold standard of storytelling. She added, I would say this is the film everyone starts with when we start talking about story, George's intent, and what it is we're trying to build off of. This part did sound a lot of like PR speak, and again, what you're saying and what you've actually produced don't seem to align. There's some of this stuff I just have to take with a grain of salt, but in the spirit of what this film festival is celebrating is this film and how much it changed cinema. It is a moment in our pop culture that changed so much. That is the gold standard. I mean, whether or not I think you truly believe that, I don't know, but that is true. That's where it all began. Kudos to Kennedy this one time, but it's a pretty big deal. That film is special. It is special to cinema, it is special to Star Wars fans, and it should be preserved for posterity. We can't just retroactively rewrite history. I will defend George Lucas and his creation of Star Wars, but this is the one thing that I can't defend. And I'm not saying that your special editions and stuff can't be there, but you shouldn't erase history in the process. Both can exist and should be preserved.